Hi, I'm Carla Cannon, and I wanted to give you a little peek into what we used for kindergarten this year. For the basis of our program, we used Sonlight's Language Art, not the whole package for all subjects, but just specifically the kindergarten language arts package. So it worked really well for us. Of course, different things work for different kids, but for us it was a really good fit for a number of reasons. First of all, I really like that they have a nice schedule laid out, and I can give you a peek at that. So for the 36 weeks, each week you get a little schedule at a glance. So you've got your resources that you use, and then up here the days of the week, and so you just have to kind of look down and you've got everything that you're supposed to do each day. So for me that was really nice. I've got other kids and I'm busy like everyone else in the world, so I liked that I could just glance at it and know what I wanted to do that day. And I think it's important to note that it's nice that there's a schedule, but you have to make it work for your family. So there were times where we followed it fairly closely, and there were also times where we went a little ahead or a little behind, and I don't really think that's important. I think what's important is matching it to your kid. If they're doing really well, keep going. If they need a little bit more time, it's more important to give them the time that they need than to plow through a program. So yeah, that worked really well. So it has the little, like I said, the little schedule on the front, and then they have parent notes on the back. So that was one page and the second page. So not a lot of additional information for the parent, which is nice, but they have little games that you can play like Go Fish or Bingo, and it just kind of lays it all out there. So yeah, that was helpful as well. I would say this program is appropriate for any kid who is learning their letters. They are assuming that they have little to no knowledge of the letters when you're starting out, and to begin with they introduce one letter a week. So I think that's a good pace, and this could be kindergarten, this could be first grade, but what's really nice is that by about somewhere between week 6 and 10, they take the letters that your child has learned already and started them reading a little book that comes in their Fun Tales pack. This is a collection of 27 books, and they start off really, really simple with, like I said, this is the first one, and so it's just a little book using the letters that your child has learned so far. But I think it's great because the illustrations are cute, super simple, the books aren't overwhelming for kids, and it's fun that even, from a really beginning stage of reading, that they can read their own book. And then as you learn more letters, each week they have a new book incorporating the new letters and building upon what they already know. So this was book 20 of 27, and you can see that there's a lot more text and using the different vowels, and my son really liked these books. So those were a huge bonus, I think, to the program, is that what letters we were learning tied into the books he was reading, and then they also provide copy work for you, which I think is a huge part of any early elementary age program. And they have that in the binder that you receive. So you have your parent schedule and sheets, and then you also have about 2 to 3 student sheets per week. So this is an example of one from, let me see, week 5 of the program, and you can see at this point we were still just learning one letter. And then, as the books progress and you learn more letters and the copy work progresses, I think this was week 33 of 36, and so you can see, they're fairly quickly into the program, they move on to full sentences. And it's nice that they have the dotted lines and then the kids can write right underneath. I think that's really important, especially in the early years. And I mean, that is basically it for the program. It's very simple, it's very gentle. It only took us, I would say, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes a day, depending on what we were working on. We didn't necessarily do everything, but we did a lot of it. My son didn't really love the creative expression, which was sort of like tell a story, describe something. So we didn't do them, and he will be fine. So I think you just have to use the program and not feel tied to doing it exactly as they say. But it worked really well for us, and I like that for me, it was all laid out. It took very little thought and effort on my part to give him a really solid phonics foundation. And I was just so impressed with how much he learned with so little effort on my part, which is win-win. They recommend that you use the Handwriting Without Tears program in conjunction to the copywork, but for our purposes, I didn't feel like that was necessary. We have an app on our iPad called Eggy Alphabet, and it's just, you just trace the letters and there's little bubbles and stuff, and it's a fun little game, and he practiced forming his letters that way, and then, learned to do them with his pen. I just got like a cheap kind of one of those Costco multi-curriculum books that had pages of just the letters in them. And so he did that for a little bit of handwriting practice at the beginning of the year, but about halfway through the year, he didn't need the additional practice and he just did the copy work. The thing with the copy work is that we took the time to do it neatly. So sometimes we'd break it up over 2 days, but it was more important to me that he was forming the letters neatly and correctly than just burning through it. And he's got great printing, so I think that worked really well for us. In addition to the copy work and the stories he read and the little activities that they suggest in the guide, then we also used reading aids, and that was such a great compliment to the program. If you have kids who are learning to read or practicing their reading skills, it's definitely something that you want to sign up for. I would say it is by far the best program online for kids that I found. So we used that in conjunction with the work he did with me, and he would do a lesson a couple of times a week, and that was a good fit. For math, all we did was, part of Reading Aids is their Math Seeds program, so he did that on the computer, and that was perfect. He covered, everything that he needed to do through that, and then just, counting and stuff at home. And then also, just because I think it's important that he learned how to write his letters, write his numbers, then we got this little book, Kuhlman, numbers 1 through 30, and basically it was just practice writing the numbers. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but just a way for him to learn how to write the numbers since his math was predominantly online. So he did that, and then partway through the year, I grabbed one of these little Star Wars books, math skills, and it was just a quick thing that he did that it was kind of fun because he's a bit of a Star Wars fanatic. And that's pretty much it. That was the basis of his kindergarten program. We do lots of read-alouds, we do lots of activities and kind of hands-on things, but as far as sitting down and actually, working with me one-on-one, we would spend anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes a day. It didn't take long. I think the key is just doing it consistently, a little bit at a time, and it's amazing how much they learn when you just do a little bit, one letter, then one word, one book, he did great. And the other thing I wanted to say is with these little books, like they do one book a week, but I would have him read it to me every day for a week, because I think it's important when they're developing their fluency to reread, to just get the flow and the smoothness to stories instead of rushing on to another book. I wanted to say that we also used these books, and I know you can get them at Mastermind Toys in Red Deer. They're by Nora Gatos, and they're such a nice little set of books. So he also read through these, and that was a good fit too, just as something extra and a little bit different. I hope that gives you some ideas for teaching your child how to read. It can be really fun and not overwhelming, especially if you have a little bit of a guide to follow. Bye and happy reading.